Section 6 of Little Masterpieces of American Wit and Humor, Volume 2. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Little Masterpieces of American Wit and Humor, Volume 2, edited by Thomas Lansing Masson. Section 6. Mary Mapes Dodge, Miss Malony on the Chinese question.
Och, don't be talking. It is howled on, ye say? And didn't I howled on to the heart of me was clean broke entirely, and me wasting that thin you could clutch me with your two hands? To think o' me toiling like a nigger for the 6 year I've been in Ameriky. Bad luck to the day I ever left the old country. To be bait by the likes of them. Faix, and I'll sit down when I'm ready, so I will, Ann Ryan, and ye'd better be listening than drawing your remarks. And it's mysel, with 5 good characters from respectable places, would be herding with the heathens. The saints forgive me, but I'd be buried alive soon and put up with a day longer. Sure, and I was a greenhorn not to be lavin' at once when the missus kim into me kitchen with her palaver about the new waiter man which was brought out from Californy. He'll be here the night, says she, and Kitty, it's meself looks to you to be kind and patient with him, for he's a furriner, says she, a kind of looking off. Sure, and it's a little I'll hinder nor interfere with him nor any other, mum, says I, a kind of stiff, for I minded me how these French waiters, with their paper collars and brass rings on their fingers, isn't company for no girl brought up decent and honest. Och, so a bit I knew what was coming, till the missus walked into me kitchen smiling and says, kind of scared, "Here's Fing Wing, Kitty, and you'll have too much sense to mind his being a little strange." With that she shuts the door, and I, mistrusting if I was tidied up sufficient for me fine by with his paper collar, looks up and, holy fathers, may I never breathe another breath, but there stood a rail heathen Chineser, a grinning like he'd just come off of a tea box. And you'll believe me, the creature was that yeller, it 'ud sicken you to see him. And so a stitch was on him but a black nightgown over his trousers, and the front of his head shaved cleaner nor a copper biler, and a black tail a-hanging down from behind, with his 2 feet stuck into the heathenest shoes you ever set eyes on. Och, but I was upstairs before you could turn about, a-giving the missus warning, and only stopped with her by her raising me wages $2 and playing with me how it was a Christian's duty to bear with heathens and take 'em all in our power. The saints save us. Well, the ways and trials I 'ad with that Chineser Ann Ryan I couldn't be telling. Not a blessed thing could I do, but he'd be looking on with his eyes cocked up hard like 2 pump handles, and he without a speck or a smidge of whiskers on him, and his fingernails full a yard long. But it's dying you'd be to see the missus a-larning him, and he grinning and wagging his pigtail, which was pieced out long with some black stuff, the heathen chate. It getting into her ways wonderful quick, I don't deny, imitating that sharp. You'd be surprised, and catching and copying things the best of us will do a-hurried with work you don't want coming into the knowledge of the family. Bad luck to him. Is it 8 with him? Arrah, and wouldn't I be sitting with a heathen, and he a-ating with drumsticks? Yes, and ating dogs and cats unknowns to me, I warrant you, which is the custom of them Chinesers. Till the thought made me that sick I could die. And didn't the creature proffer to help me a week ago come Tuesday, and me a-folding down me clean clothes for the ironing, and fill his heathen mouth wid wather, and afore I could hinder, squirt it through his teeth straight over the best linen tablecloth, and fold it up tight, as innocent now as a baby, the dirty baste. But the worst of all was the copying he'd be doing, till you'd be distracted. It's yourself knows the tinder feet that's on me since ever I been in this country. Well, owing to that, I fell into the way o' slipping me shoes off when I'd be sitting down to pale the praties or likes o' that. And d'ye mind, that heathen would do the same thing after me whenever the missus set him paring apples or tomaterses. The saints in heaven couldn't have made him belave he could kape the shoes on him when he'd be paling anything. Did I lave for that? Fix! And didn't he get me into trouble wid my missus, the heathen? You're aware yourself how the bundles coming from the grocery often contains more'n'll go into anything decently. So for that matter, I'd now and then take out a sup of sugar or flour or tay and wrap it in paper and put it in me bit of a box tucked under the ironing blanket, the how it couldn't be bothering anyone. Well, what should it be but this blessed Saturday morn, the missus was a spaking pleasant and respectful wid me in me kitchen, when the grocer boy comes in and stands for her wid his bundles, and she motions like to Fing Wing, which I never would call him by that name, nor any other, but just Haven. She motions to him, she does, for to take the bundles and empty out the sugar and what not where they belongs. If you'll belave me, Ann Ryan, what did that blatherin' Chineser do but take out a sup of sugar and a handful of tay and a bit of chaze right afore the missus, wrap them into bits o' paper, and I speechless wid surprise, and he the next minute up wid the ironing blanket and pulling out me box wid a show of being sly to put them in. Och, the Lord forgive me, but I clutched it, and the missus saying, "Oh, Kitty," in a way that'd curdle your blood. "He's a heathen nigger," says I. "I've found you out," says she. "I'll arrest him," says I. "It's you ought to be arrested," says she. "You won't," says I. "I will," says she. And so it went, till she gave me such sass as I couldn't take it from no lady, and I give her warning and left that instant, and she a pointing to the door.
End of section 6.